Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we are going to be looking at slab reinforcement plan. This has been one of the long-lasting requests from subscribers on the channel, so I thought it's about time to get it done. Alright, so here we are with the slab reinforcement plan demonstration. I have the basic layout of the one-bedroom house that we did on previous videos on the channel. If you missed those, definitely go and check it out. We did a complete series on how to draw this building from start to finish. But today we're looking at slab reinforcement plan, and in the part 1 to this video I would have explained a lot about slab. We looked at an example of a slab reinforcement plan and how to read it, how to understand it. Today it's all about how to actually produce that plan. So one of the first things, of course, obviously we need is that layout. The shape of the slab is profoundly defined. We also have all of the beams that are supporting that slab underneath, and pretty much all of the walls in this building were load-bearing walls, and so they had beams on top of them, and so these would be the beams on top of those walls. All right, that distinction has to be made, because there are some walls that are not load-bearing and therefore would not have a beam on top of them. Those walls, we don't want to see them in this drawing. Only the walls, or rather only the beams that are on top of those load-bearing walls, is what we want to see here. Another thing would be that you may have different types of beam. So maybe the ones in the middle of the house might be a little bit smaller or whatever, different shape than the ones on the outside. And so you would need to call those out or create a separate beam plan in order to identify which beam goes where. And okay, basically all the beams on this building are the same, so that's what we're going to be working with. I also created a few layers for my different steel. So I have the distribution bar, I have the main bar, and I have the over support bar. Okay, those are the three that I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to be adding some dimensions, so I have that layer there well set. Also I grouped, it's not grouped. So what I need to do is to highlight everything and hit the group button right here, and that make it so that everything is one object, and that's perfect. So the first thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and switch over to my main bar, since we're going to be doing that first. And usually I would say do a main bar for every room, and the main bar is usually spanning the shorter distance of the room. So for instance, this room here at the front, the shorter distance would definitely be this direction. So what we would do is to draw a line in the shorter direction. I'm going to turn my ortho mode on. So this would be my main bar. All right, this room here is the kitchen. It's pretty much a square. If you're not sure, you got to check. So that's a 9 feet by 9 feet. So that's pretty much a square. So we can run the main bar in any direction. So I'm going to run it in the same direction as this one here. So there we have two main bars. For the front porch, obviously this is a no-brainer. And then we have this room, which kind of look like a square, but you're not so sure. So why not just measure to see which end is the shorter end? And so right away we can see that this is the shorter end, so we will need a main bar running in this direction. Now for the bathroom is another no-brainer. Obviously this end is the shorter distance. So what we have here is all the main bars drawn in the building. Now because the bathroom is a small portion of the building and majority of the building has its main bars running in the same direction, what we would do, or what I would do, is to pretty much delete all of these other ones And I'll just leave one main bar for the entire building, just to reduce the clutter on the drawing. Okay, so let me delete these. So I would just use this main bar to be laid out all the way across the entire building. After all, this is the shorter distance of the entire building. And if we have the main bar running this way, all we need is one distribution bar and it would be running. Well, I need to switch to the distribution layer first, and then I will draw one distribution bar running in the perpendicular direction. So pretty much that's all we would need in terms of main bar and distribution bar. Okay, and if you notice again, I only have one distribution bar. That is because I have one main bar. If I had to break the main bars up again, like we did previously, then I would have to break up the distribution bar as well. Now, as was mentioned in the previous video, this steel here would be a little bit too long. As a matter of fact, if we check the length of this here, it says 27 feet. And typically a steel would be shipped in 18 feet length. I think that is what it is. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what it is. And so because of that, you wouldn't be able to have a steel running all the way there. It would stop somewhere like, let's see where 18 feet stops. Right there. And so what would happen is we would have to have another piece of steel continuing where that left off to the end. But the problem here is that we wouldn't want to splice the steel in the middle of the room like that, because then this is going to become a weak point of this slab. So what I would recommend is for you to splice the steel on top of a wall. Okay, so as you can see here, the nearest wall to that splice would be right here. So you pretty much just do something like that to represent the splice. It doesn't have to be anything perfect to the T, but just something so that, you know, the builders can see and know that, oh, there's a splice right there. So that pretty much wraps that up. And then we would go ahead and add our distribution bars in. So let's switch over to distribution. Now this one takes the longest time because you have to do a bunch of calculation. So I'm going to bring out my calculator right now. And I'm going to start drawing. Now, again, the over support bars are usually quarter the distance. So if I were to measure this distance here, that would be 9 feet. This room is a 9 feet by 9 feet. So going to be 9 divided by 4 equals 2.25. So I need to draw a line here measuring 2.25 feet, which would be the same thing on this end, and then it would pretty much be the same here because it's another 9 feet on this side, 2.25 feet. I would copy this over, and so that's what that room would look like, and then we would pretty much do this for all the other rooms. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. All right, so far I have majority of the over support bars placed. All right, so I would place another one here, which would pretty much be the same as this because we're having the same distance between these two walls as we had it up there. So I would probably copy these down. You don't have to. As a matter of fact, I could just use these and put my dimension that it spans all the way across. But just copy it for copy's sake. I would also like to line these ones up with these ones at the top here. And there's a reason why I like to line them up like that. I don't just do it because it looks good. It actually makes life a little bit more easy for me. Now I do have this room which is a little odd shaped. And so what do we do here? Normally I would break it up into chunks. So I would have this piece as one, and then I would have this piece as another to work with. And so of course this over support here, or these ones here, would span all the way across. Well, this top one would go to this point, and this bottom one would go all the way across. And I would need one here as well as one here. So what's the distance from here to here? 14 feet 6. So I would say 14.5 divided by 4 would equal to 3.625. So I need to draw 3.625 feet. And then I would copy this over like that. And so this little box here is taken care of, but I need to take care of this box, which of course these two could be used down here as well. So I'm not even going to copy those. I'm going to just have a dimension pointing all the way down to this point. But I do need an over support coming from here, coming down to this point. I'm just going to line it up with that. So let me delete these boxes. So what we have here is this over support spanning this distance, while this one here would span this distance, and this one here would span from here to here, while this one would come all the way down to this point, likewise with that one. So that's what that's gonna look like. I'm pretty much done with placing steel. All that is left is for us to place our dimensions. So what I'll do is to go ahead and create a new dimension style. Well, I probably don't need to, because I do have this slab plan dimension style available. I think that's because I have this drawing open up, so it came into this drawing. So I won't create another one, but pretty much you would go inside, modify it, make sure that you change the symbol to arrow or dots or whatever you want. Make it look the way you want it, and make sure that it is active. So I'm going to switch over to slab plan, and then I'm going to go ahead and add my first dimension would be to the main bar and the distribution bar. So I'm going to put a dimension from here to here. I don't know if I like where this one is. I'm going to move it up a little bit to probably about here. And this is where I can now erase the text inside. So I'm going to go down to the override text, and I'm going to say this is a number 4 MB at 8 inches. That's all I'm going to put in there. All right. I can pull it over like that, and then I can put a little circle in there. Make sure that the circle is on the dimension layer. All right, so that's what that would look like there. That would represent my main bar. And what I'm gonna do actually is to copy this text, because I'm gonna just paste it in the other one. Then I would do the same thing for the distribution bar. I'll probably do that one here. And click on it, overwrite the text, kind of move it into an empty spot. So I'll slide it maybe down instead of up. And I'll copy this little circle here and place it right there. So that this dimension is in relation to that steel, and likewise this one over here as well. So that would take care of all of that. And so what we need to do is the same thing for all the other steel. So that would pretty much look like this over here, where you would add a dimension to every single steel. Okay. And also we added dimensions to the length of the over supports. Okay. What I also did was to extend every single steel on the outer part of the building a little bit over into the overhang or cantilever. So you can do that as well. Make sure that there is a 1 inch gap here. One of the things I did not explain in my previous video is that when you're doing the sectional views like this here, you have to make sure that the steel cover is appropriate. And so, so the steel cover on this is 1 inch. which is a pretty good number to start with for general conditions. So you got to pay attention to that as well. Under some other conditions, you might need more covering or less covering. So it's all depending on what the engineer think is best. All right, so thank you guys for watching this video. I hope that you learned something, and if you have any questions at all, feel free to drop them in the comments below, and I will definitely try my best to give you an answer. So may I say thank you all. Remember to hit the subscribe button and to also drop a like, and big up to my patrons over on my Patreon page. I'll drop the links and everything in the description below.